When I first met this woman, I saw Rose and I latched on to her. I told her, baby, I don't want to marry. I just want to be your man. Rose told me.
I told him if he wasn't a mankind and move out the way so the mankind could find me.
That's what she told me. You're in my way, you're blocking the view, move out the way so I can find me a husband.
You know, one thing in the process of kind of designing Rose is I wanted Rose to look like life had gotten to her without beating you over the head. So the gray in her hair, you know, the cracks in her skin, the simplicity of her wardrobe. But at one point you probably thought, you know, when she bought it, it's probably crisp, pristine, but now more weathered. To show the sacrifice before she even enters the frame, I thought was very valuable. So the gray in the wig for me was very apropos. It was very important to me. I did not want her to look like she came out of the Brady Bunch, because I know that that's the 50s. The 50s, especially in the Caucasian world, probably, the 50s women were very put together. They were absolutely an extension of male fantasy. And I think she's way past that. She's now in her life where you've got to see that woman who she says she is by the end is, I gave up little pieces of myself to him.
Corey just trying to fill out your shoes.
I don't want him to be like me. I want him to get as far away from my life as he possibly can get. You the only decent thing ever happened to me, Rose.
You can't be nobody but who you are, Troy. That's all you got to measure yourself against the world out there.
I feel like the themes in Fences are about marriage. It's about identity. It's about parenthood. It's about father-son relationships. It's about lost dreams. What August did was he created exactly what Arthur Miller did in Death of a Salesman. Before that, the hero was the god, was the king. But he created the everyman anti-hero flawed because he said it. Arthur Miller said it, August Wilson said it. For Corey and Rose, Troy is our God.
Rose, I got something to tell you. I don't know how to tell you this.
Why, Troy? Why?
You ought to know it's time.
I don't want to know, damn it!
The women who informed my portrayal of Rose is me, my mom, my publicist, I don't know, my manager, every woman that's out there, black or white. Any woman that I had ever encountered who sacrificed, who gave, who at any given time felt like, you know, gave up a piece of their lives for the greater good. That is our power as women. They say in the 50s that, I always quote this, Betty Friedan, who said, you know, women hid behind perfectly applied lipstick and wax floors. They hid their pain, and Rose absolutely encapsulates that. But that's any woman. We're taught to repress what our dreams and what our hopes and what our voice. We're taught to repress our voice, even in 2016. And when you finally get to the point where life gives you permission, something kicks that voice out of you, just totally kicks it. Pain, animalistic, being trapped in a corner, when it finally comes out, I can't think of better words than what comes out of Rose's mouth.
It's not easy for me to admit that I've been standing in the same place for 18 years.
Well, I've been standing with you. I got a life too. Don't you think I had dreams and hopes? What about my life? What about me?
We rehearsed the movie before we actually started filming. And I remember we did that scene where I tell Troy that I'm standing with you. We did in the rehearsal hall, and I did everything small. And he was like, if you know Denzel, he's very honest, brutally honest. But he's like, that don't work. And he said, do it big. Do whatever you think is too big. And I said, okay, so I did it bigger. He said, that's not too big for me. And then what clicked for me, what has always clicked for me, because I am an actor, so I observe. I observe in a way that you don't observe. I see things that you don't even see that may go past you, okay? Everything in life I soak up like you wouldn't believe. And so I know every moment in my life, the moment that I found out my boyfriend that I love dearly cheated on me, the moment that my dad took his last breath and the hospice nurse put the stethoscope on his chest, and what my reaction was, every breath that came out of my mouth, what his body looked like, seeing my mom and her reaction. And it's not always small. It's just not.
Some people build fences to keep people out, and other people build fences to keep people in.
What August had, what made him brilliant, he had a lot of things that made him brilliant. But I think what he had was the spirit to allow people to enter him, exactly who they were and where they were. He took you in. You felt that way when you were with him in person, that he saw you. And I see that in Rose, I see it in Vera, I see it with Maddie, that there is an absolute understanding of what it means to be a woman, where womanhood is at. And I think that was his gift, is a great gift of vulnerability and empathy.